Hey, 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 hey. Hey, everybody. It's Tuesday. Yes, it is. It is Tuesday. And it's a beautiful Tuesday where I am. We had this saying here it's a beautiful day in South Carolina. And for the part I'm in, yes, it really is. It's Talk It Out Tuesday with Tori and Tonya. So I have Tori in the stream very, very soon. You know what we do here? We reclaim our time. It's noontime. You might call it lunchtime. But we're reclaiming, we're recalibrating what we're going to do. And I want to go ahead and get right into it so that we can get to the conversation that I know you all want to talk about. I've already been getting DMs and messages, and Tori has been getting comments, and you guys are really ready for this one. Yeah, it's the Kevin Samuels effect. He's got the dating world shook up. He's got it shook up for men and for women. So we need to dive into the impact of Kevin Samuels and his controversial dating and relationship advice for both men and women alike. We need to dig into it. But before we do, you know what we need to do? Something that we do every time we come into the mix, right? We're going to have to do some breath work. Y'all ready for it? What I want you to do is inhale to the count of 4. And we're going to hold it for a few seconds. And then we're going to exhale. And we'll hold that for a few seconds. And we'll repeat that a few times. Now, you can close your eyes if you're in a place that you can do that. And I want you to do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're driving. Don't do that if you're actually sitting at the desk. If you got your head pods on and you're taking a listen, we'll vibrate with us and listen. But if you can close your eyes, close your eyes. You want to take it a step further, put your hands over your heart and feel that you are alive. That's you. Let's get into it. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. One more time. Let's inhale. Hold it a few seconds. And exhale. Yeah. Doesn't it feel great? I know it feels great. And I feel good. And I hope you feel good too. Go ahead and relax. Relax your shoulders. Get some of that tension off. Yeah, relax. Relax. Because we're getting ready to have a conversation that I feel like, I know it could be controversial, but it doesn't have to be. It's important for us to be able to have conversations, whether we agree or whether we disagree. But let's hear different sides of the story. Now, some of you know who Kevin Samuels is. Some of you may not. He's not on as many people in my circle radar, but people have a general awareness of who he is. He gained a lot of recognition for his YouTube videos and his social media presence. He was a very blunt. He kind of had a no nonsense approach to dating and relationship. At least that's how his career, I would say, I won't say ended, but that's kind of where he was. But he didn't necessarily start out that way, and we'll dig a bit into that as well. But before we get into the conversation, let's talk it out Tuesday, and I can't do it without Tori. I can't. How you doing, Tori?
What it do?
Hey,
How are you this
girl.
afternoon?
I feel good. How you feel?
I'm amazing. I said a little
Mm.
prayer before we start this conversation because I want it to be a healthy conversation. I don't want people to be upset with me. But it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to this conversation because a lot of times I've got into a lot of debates in regards to Kevin Samuels and his views. So I'm excited about this conversation. And I'm gonna stand on how I feel with what I feel,
Well,
why I feel.
yeah, we have to. Well, he's a media personality. Uh, I
Mhm.
I I did a little bit of digging because I gotta tell you, um well, let's tell people how we got into this actually, because this wasn't necessarily a topic of our choice. We didn't choose to have this particular discussion. We were having a discussion about empowered women, and we were trying to figure out if empowered women were emasculating men. So we kind of got there from the Tyrese incident. It was a topic that it was a pretty good discussion. We had a great conversation that day, and we got a lot of men who came into the chat. And how did they get us into this, Tori?
Right. How did they get us into it? I said, what are that conversation was so good that day. So I think it was Wu Chow and I think Ty asked what were our views in regards to Kevin Samuel. And I'm admit when Voodoo Child said Kevin Samuel, I was like, oh, that was
Wow.
my immediate response.
Well, let me ask you this. Why was that your response? That's important.
Okay. Well, my response was the way it was because of when I came across Kevin Samuels. And I want to say this probably was maybe a year or two ago. I came across a video where a woman called in. And to me, he was belittling her and talking down to her. And the way that he was speaking to her, I did not like. So I immediately turned it off. I honestly, I saw that particular um video and but I should have found that video, but I saw that particular video and I never watched them again, to be honest with you. I never gave him a chance. But because we were having this conversation today, I did look back on some of his older you know, you know, other topics,
Mhm.
but I didn't dig as deep as you did. So you said that I will
What you
appreciate him.
mean?
So I'm looking forward to
What you
that.
mean you didn't dig as deep as I did? What you
Nah,
talking?
you went way back. I didn't go that far back.
Well, I tell you what, I felt like it was important because
Yeah.
if I was gonna have a discussion on him and I hadn't really consumed a lot of his content, very very much like yourself, uh,
Mhm.
for me as a woman, when some of the videos and maybe in line with what you saw, I never really watched them. It would be like some of the clips where people just kind of took clips out, and I know how media
Mhm.
works, and they just kind of want to sensationalize certain things, so,
Mhm.
I didn't put a whole lot of stock into it. I heard what he was saying, but if you
Yeah.
understand media and you want to understand how to get that click rate, and I think that
Mhm.
he is a man who understood that,
Right.
I took it for that. But I'm
Mhm.
still not gonna just say that. He just really wasn't on my radar like that. But then by the time I realized, he had passed and people were there were some people who were celebrating it, some people had, seemed like they were so destroyed by it, which, that's just how much of an impact he made in the social media, space. I
Yeah.
was like wondering, like, "Okay, well, whatever this man has been saying, I don't think that you should be celebrating his death." So I did make a comment, in regard to that.
Now that was horrible. Now I did
Yeah,
not agree with his views, with the views that the videos that that particular video, and then I watched a couple, but I did not agree with his views, but I thought that was horrible how some people were celebrating his death. That was crazy to me.
yeah.
I'm like, "Are you serious?"
I thought that was crazy. So, like I said, and time went on, but I did the deep dive because when we're in this social media space, and let's look at him from outside of what his particular views were and how his views were marketed and how he chose to market himself. Let's have this conversation first, okay?
Okay.
Let's think about being a content creator and what that entails. So you're making videos. You have to have content. You have to have content that is engaging, that is gonna bring in viewers, and when you find your market, you find people who are clicking in, That's important. That's what a content creator typically wants to do. But they also start somewhere. Every content creator, no matter how big they uh, gain their audience, they have a history. And if they leave those videos and they leave that content up, you're able to go back and watch where they're started. And I do that with a lot of content creators, especially ones that I like. I like to see what their beginning is. And a lot of them like to leave it because they want that to serve as a lesson for you. So uh, pay attention to that. And so when I went back and I did the deep dive, I looked at the videos that he did. In fact, let's do something here. Let's go back to some of his first stuff. Let's put them up here. Let's do a little something because we've got fair use to use a little, some clips of this stuff here. Let's see what's going on.
Yeah. All right. Let's get it. Shout out to the CIA. One love, FBI. You see the title of the stream. Grown damn man training. Playtime is over. That's right. Playtime is over. What do I mean by that? I'm going to use one of my homeboys' sayings. The nerve of you niggas. I have been on YouTube for several years, making hundreds of videos, watching, teaching, trying to get you guys on that grown damn man path. And you know what? Some of you guys have actually taken the advice. But I gotta admit, I'm feeling some kind of way about a hangout C Boogie did the other day. And he was talking about just some basic damn hygiene. And I saw 300 plus dudes in there not knowing what the hell was going on. And I'm like, what? I'm pissed. I am pissed that you jabronis, you fools. It's like I got teenage boys. So I'm about to have to do some grown damn man training because, man, real talk, if you don't know how to groom yourself, take care of yourself, you don't need to be on YouTube talking about nothing about a woman. Nothing about a woman, nothing about female nature, nothing. If you niggas still sleeping in socks, if you fools still sleeping in socks, yeah, that kind of shit.
All right. I won't stop right there. Let's stop right there. Okay. So you did where the brother started out. He started out talking to men, right? Mm-hmm. And to be honest, I watched a lot of videos in his beginning. If you can see, I stopped it and paused it because I feel like, we can kind of talk in between it a little bit. But let's pay attention to this whole scene right here. He's dressed nice. A brother can wear a suit if he wants to. Whatever your fashion style is fine. But let's look at the whole scene. And if you look at where he is doing the video, you'll see he's in a space that is very plain. Not necessarily something that I would call high value. And it doesn't matter because the information that he is sharing is valuable. So I think a lot of people are taking a lot of things out of context, but I say that because you can see that he started with very humble, very modest, and not necessarily high value in terms of where he's doing this stuff. What I want people to understand, that media is a very interesting thing. content creation is a very interesting thing. He started out talking to men, giving them advice. And as a single mother of a young man, I think a lot of women should go back to some of those videos, take a listen to it, and direct your son to that video, because he has given it to them in a very straightforward, matter-of-fact way that a man is sharing information with another man that he may need to hear, that you, as a woman, maybe didn't think about and cannot communicate with him. So that's where I stand with the brother. What you got to say?
I'm actually was looking at the videos, the previous videos with him talking to the men, and I did not get a chance to see those type of videos prior. Before we had this conversation, I saw grazed over some that you mentioned to me. But to be honest with you, I really just started to look at previous videos when you said it and when Voodoo Child brought it up, because I'm gonna be honest, the videos that introduced me to Kevin Samuels, I immediately turned them off, and I did not give the brother a chance, to be
Wow.
honest with you.
Check it
So,
out. Voodoo is in the building. He's here.
what's up, Voodoo?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
started
yes.
this.
What is he saying?
He was a professional stylist. He understood contrast.
Mm-hmm.
And he also says he was very strict on men. And
He
see, that's the
was.
part that I missed, because Voodoo, when I first heard of Kevin Samuels, I caught the harshness of him talking to women. So I did not even think about that part until you and Tonya mentioned that he started out talking to men. I did not know that. And
Yeah.
I did not go back until, this week leading up to this conversation, because all I saw was the harshness and how he was talking to women. And to me, and what was crazy to me, like some of the women that were calling in, he was saying, speaking to you harsh, and they're like, okay, like just, I mean, it's like they were like, what's the word can I use? Like if he say he said you are this or you're that, and they're just like, okay, like
Well,
whatever,
let me say this. Let me say this, because like I said, I didn't watch enough of it, but I get it because I'm
Yeah,
in media. And
yeah.
and for what I saw, I'll tell you what I think. A couple things, actually.
Mm-hmm.
A couple things just on my personal opinion, and then a couple things of what I think as it relates to media and marketing, because he very much understood media and marketing.
Mm-hmm.
He got it, because I showed you where he started out. Let's bring that back on screen so that people will not be confused. See where the brother started. Very plain, very non-high value, very apartment, could be borderline broke brother in a bachelor pad who got on a suit, but you can buy a suit, okay? But respect. This is not completely 1,000% high value. This is not the type of apartment that I'm going to walk into with a man that I date. Let's get that straight. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But that's being judgmental, because I like the value that I heard him bring in this video. So I'm not judging, but I want people to see it from this point of view so that they can just hear something different and maybe
Mm-hmm.
look at it from an eye that they weren't able to look at it from. And that is what a good conversation is going to bring anyway, right?
Right.
Now, he started out talking to men. When he came over and started talking to the women, and a lot of what you're talking about, where you felt like he was, what he was very harsh on women. Well, I
Yeah,
say,
it was the delivery for me. And like I said, the videos that popped up in my feed, I tried watching, but I turned it off. And it's just like some of the women just kind of like did not, I didn't feel like they were standing up for themselves. And it was welcome to the show list, ratings and sponsors, etc. And he made a comment before that he became more eccentric as time went on. And yes,
yeah,
I see that. And a
yeah,
lot of the stuff I saw after the fact was after his passing, because a lot of people start posting things. Because like I said, when I came across that particular video, one in particular, I just turned it off and I never
yeah.
watched them. I'll be honest with y'all, I never watched it again. And I only watched some stuff this past week only because we were having this conversation.
Got you. Got you. I want to say
Yeah.
this. I want to
Yeah.
say this to the women that you feel like he was being very hard on.
Mhm.
Uh, yeah, maybe he was, or maybe it could be considered that. And sometimes we get our lessons that aren't necessarily presented to us in the nicest and the softest way. And sometimes maybe we don't need them all to be that way. I will also say this: any woman who would call into a man on a social media platform to get his opinion of themselves tells me a lot about that woman. Okay. So I feel like they kind of set themselves up. I don't necessarily feel like it's not like he was just randomly out on the street with a camera and, tearing women down. I don't think that. But with him doing that with certain women who probably had these insecurities or these false sense of reality of what relationships should be like or have been misguided, what I find, in my opinion, a lot of men who feel like he's a goat or feel like everything that he said was a truth, for me, and in my opinion, it comes from a lot of hurt men. I think is kind of had that type of effect because on both sides of the coin, men and women get hurt in relationships, you know? Um, and they're looking for different things and they're looking at value in different ways. It happens. But these guys who are listening to him when he's having the conversation with women, I'm asking this: why were you so interested in him when he began to talk to women, but you weren't necessarily so interested in the conversations that he was having when he was talking to you? That says a lot for me. So I take it all with a grain of salt. I
Right.
really do. I see some guys are in the comments here. What's going on?
Les says, but every other TikTok bashes men. People are harsh to men all the time. It's pretty much acceptable. And and to that, Les, I'll say you are absolutely correct. I don't like it either way, whether it's a man being harsh about the women or the women. I don't follow women that are like that either. So it goes both ways for me. I just don't
Mhm.
like it. There's
Yeah,
way that you can give constructive criticism, but some of the delivery for me. And Voodoo Child says, "Men, we're just as offended. The just they just absorbed and responded to the info differently, and that's true
right.
too." Yeah.
Well, I want to ask Voodoo a question since we've got him here in the chat. Because you kind of started this, man. But if you had an opportunity to watch some of his video, first of all, let me say this. I want to say this. Let me put this out here. Now, Voodoo, that brother gets it. You ever seen a DJ in a tux? If you haven't, you need to know the Voodoo that I know. A man who is a fashion and who is manly and who got his game together on that. So
Yeah.
he definitely gets it. So, but what I wanna
Yeah.
ask you is, what did you think of the content that he was bringing in terms of, just like in the video that we showed, he was getting ready to go into grooming. Do you think that is good content for women to watch, and particularly if she is a mother of a son and a single mother of a son? Let me ask your opinion on that. Go ahead and type something up for us.
And he said, "For every one Kevin Sammy, there are 1,000 female counterparts." Woo, I can agree with that though. And at your service, Mia. That's Will. Voodoo starting trouble.
He can't help
But
it.
you know what? I can agree, Tanya. Voodoo Child does get it. That what I can honestly say about Voodoo Child. He does get it. He touches the masses. And I actually, whenever I see Voodoo, we have conversations, and Voodoo, he make you think. You be like, wait a minute, I didn't
Mhm.
look at it that way. So yeah, he definitely gets it.
Mhm, mhm. But, like I said, it's just very funny to me that when he was
Mhm.
talking to men, like, he wasn't on the radio. Men were talking about, "Single women out here, you're not talking to your sons. Show them this video." No one
Right.
ever said that. I wish
Right.
someone had put that on my radar. I would have
Yeah.
appreciated. But as soon as he started talking to women, the men
Mhm.
were watching him talk to women, and they were more interested in the conversations of him talking to women. So I'm like, "Well, what kind of men are these? Like,
Right.
how
And see,
hurt have you been?"
and I agree with that, Tanya. I agree with that wholeheartedly. In regards to what you're saying, in regards to the men being hurt, because a lot of the videos that are being posted are geared toward the women. So a lot of videos that I see that are reshared and posted, I'm like, who hurt you?
Yeah,
I didn't hurt you. Why?
yeah.
Why do you feel this way? Like what?
And I've heard some conversations. I mean, it's all over the platform. You hear a lot of people, in those hurt spaces. There's some good content around it as well, which
Yeah.
I can appreciate, but there's
Mhm.
so many hurt people who are taking it out of context and feeling validated by that, and so I agree with you. I'm like, "Well, who hurt you? How can we help you be better?" You
Mhm.
know? Um, and if you're out of your league, you're out of your league. Let's just say that. If you've
Right.
got Toyota Camry money, buy your Toyota Camry. But if you got Toyota Camry money and you buy a Mercedes Benz and you can't afford to maintain it, I'm gonna say you probably should have brought the Toyota. It's very reliable. You didn't make a smart decision. Use that in the context of dating as well. You're
Right.
reaching. And
Right.
that goes both ways. I'm not here to bash men. It goes I will tell a woman the same thing. If you're
Mhm.
going for since they put the language out here, high value, but I wanna go back to what I feel is high value. If you're going for this man that they label high value,
Mhm.
um, you need to know your value, and you need to know
Talk
what
about
you're
it.
adding to that value. You
Right.
dig what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because just because you're educated or have a job or whatever it is, there's many people out here like that, and probably someone of that high value status would be too. And
Mhm.
by the same token, if you got the Toyota Camry, lifestyle, don't be trying to go to the Mercedes Benz seller. What are you offering? So I'm gonna take that both ways. Now, I wanna go back to the high value part of this.
Mhm.
Why I say that? Because if you all are thinking and if your idea of high value is about money, then you're not my type of person anyway, because that's not getting ready to be, my definition of high value, right?
Right.
Because any and everybody can make money out here. We see that, which this is where the problem is because women are making money, men can make money, and everybody's got their little problems. Either you're making more, you're making less, whatever the case may be, but what are you doing that is valuable for each other in this relationship? What I find valuable, and let me be clear, because I am not in search of anyone. Let's let's get this on the record. But if I were on the
Yeah.
market and seeking, right,
Yes.
as a young woman, right, as a young
Mhm.
woman who has my own value and who has my things, I wanna know what kind of man you are in terms of I wanna know if you can take care of me in terms of if there's an emergency that happened, like if there's a storm, tree limb or something falls on the roof, can you go out there and get it down and pull the chainsaw out and cut it up or whatever the case may be? Can you catch a fish? Can you hunt?
Mhm.
What can you do? What is of value to me is what are the things that you can do that does not consist of money? If the door comes off the hinge, can you get the screwdriver or whatever tools to fix it? Because if you're getting ready to call a handyman, brother, I got cash and I got a phone and I can do that. So you're not being valuable to me.
Right.
That's where my values are, but I am a woman of a particular age, so I am looking at things differently, but I do think that young women need to know what can this man do outside of money? That's what you
Yeah.
need to do. Uh,
Mhm.
we got some comments going on in here. You wanna read
Ooh,
through
a
some of
lot
them?
of them. Woo, a lot
Wow,
of them.
it
Let's
has
go
been
back.
steady going, and I didn't even realize it.
I was watching. Can you go back to that one? Les Eccles, better to have an uncle or male relative to influence boys, not an influencer whose job is literally to get popular. And he was
Mm,
answering the question, and actually Voodoo Child answered too, but he was answering when you asked Voodoo Child about the Kevin Samuels being, is that something that you would want our as single mothers want our boys to watch? And that was his answer to that question. What
right.
up, Donald?
Yeah, how you doing, man? All right.
And then Les also says, I don't believe it's all about being hurt. I think he spoke truth and men were feeling it. They didn't have to ever be hurt to see and acknowledge truth in what he's saying. Okay.
Dig it. Dig it.
Okay. I
I
feel
can
you.
dig that. But a hit dog gonna holler.
And Will says, I think the problem with Kevin Samuels videos, the viewers are only seeing clips and not the full segment. And that was the thing
That's
for me,
true.
William. There with the episode that I'm talking about, I actually watched probably, I want to say I caught this episode live. And I watched probably maybe 20, maybe 30 minutes. And I was like, man, I can't do this anymore. I got to turn this off. So and then the clips that are being shown, you do need to see the full episode to get the full point. But there are some clips that are being out here that really makes him look
Right.
like he was really dragging women.
It does, but see, that is social media. So social media is out here being social media and doing its job. I think Voodoo got an opportunity to respond to the question here. What he's saying.
And his Voodoo Child says, yes, as a woman, single or not, his grooming and hygiene tips for young men should definitely be paid attention to. A lot of the things Kevin was saying were things that our elders used to tell us as we were growing up in the comfort of our homes. People that were fortunate enough to get that info early in life only looked at what Kevin was saying as entertainment, not as life advice. That's good.
Respect.
Yeah.
Respect.
Yeah.
And you know what? I agree with that. And the
Yeah.
reason why I brought that up is because unfortunately,
Hmm.
young people have these things in their hands. Unfortunately, a lot of them, there's some young men who just don't have a man, period, in the home. It doesn't even have to be uh, their father. They might not have a grandfather or an uncle. And that's why when we talked before, I often say women need to find men in their community who can talk to these guys. But even at that point, when you're looking for mentors for your sons, it may not get into those hygiene but see, Kevin just went very blunt, very bold. It was shocking to me. Like, it was things that I actually never thought about, but things as a woman that I know if men did not have those practices, it wasn't a man who I would entertain. So that's why I say women should watch that, and then they get to decide if, like, "Hey, you know what? Let me put this video on, or let me put my son onto this video."
Right.
I think it's worth it.
Right. And Voodoo Child says Kevin was a superhero for men who didn't have the heart or confidence to actually say what was on their minds.
That's
Mm,
what it is.
that's
Because
good.
listen, Imma bring him up again. Let me bring Mr. Samuels up in here again. Let me pull it up.
Do you have the other one? The other one that when he was in the car?
I do. I tell you what, let me look for it. You can read a couple things if you want to.
Okay.
Um,
Consuelo said, or Genesis, I'm sorry. These men today seem lazy and women just do the yard work before they even ask the man in the house. That's true. That's true. I've seen it. I've seen it firsthand. And Les says, non-traditional women want traditional men. Help me understand. Les, I need help understanding that as well.
Wait a
Voodoo
minute.
child.
Wait. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Back it up. Back it up. Back it up. Back it up. Let me speak on this.
Okay.
Okay. I love this. I'm liking this already. I done stopped looking for the video that you asked me when I heard that. I wasn't paying attention. I was hard down looking for the video, and then I
No, these
heard
comments
something.
are coming through.
Hold on. Wait a minute now. Read what Les said again.
Non-traditional women want traditional men. Help me
Okay.
understand.
I'm getting ready to help you understand my brother because I am a non-traditional woman in some ways. And yes, I do want a traditional man. And let me tell you why. I'm non-traditional in the sense that uh, there's some things in terms of workforce and maintaining my home that my life circumstances has gotten me into. So that's where I have become non-traditional because I do a lot of things. Um, but in terms if there's gonna be a man in my life, he's gonna be traditional because that is what I want, but I'm also not looking to be in that space of having to head all of this stuff up. If he's there, I need him to do those type of things. I want it's not so much gender roles per se. I feel like someone has to add. I need him to add value. I want to add value to him, and I do like traditional things. Now, I also heard a comment while I was searching for the video, someone talking about, I think it was, Genesis saying something about yard work or something. Let me see if I can
Yeah,
find that comment again.
she said these men today seem lazy and women just do the yard work before they even ask the man in the house.
Right, but and so that's what I'm saying, like, I'm one of those women who does yard work, and I like it, and not because I was forced to like it or feel like I have to like it because I needed to get it done, I could pay someone to do it, so it isn't that. It's just being out in that yard that I like, and like I said, so I do some things that are non-traditional, but I do a lot of traditional things, right?
Mhm.
And I
Mhm.
do want that traditional man. I do want can you fix the toilet? If the toilet get clogged up, can you unclog it? Do I have to call a plumber for that? I shouldn't have to, because I know how to do that. Can you problem
Mhm.
solve? If if the handle on the toilet stops, working, which is an issue most people, if you live in a home, this probably has happened. Can you open up that tank and look in there and figure that thing out and like, "Oh, this is what's happening because I had to do it. No one taught me that. As a woman, just using my brain and problem figuring things out. Like, I'm very serious. If a screw if comes out of the door or anywhere, can you fix this? Why do I have to call a handyman for this? You know?
Right.
I want you to be able to add value. I can pay for something. We all can make money ain't nothing but something to make and to spend, and y'all know that very well. Okay, so when I'm talking about high value, I'm not talking about how much money you're making. Now, you're not get ready to be broke in my life either, because I'm not broke.
Right.
You understand me? You're not get ready to do
Right.
that, and by broke or broken, neither one of those.
Mhm.
We gonna work on that. Do you have some more
Absolutely.
comments that you want to, I just had to talk about that non-traditional woman wanting a traditional yes,
That
I
was
want that.
good. I'm trying to see where we left off at. Oh, yeah. Voodoo Child says women have chosen lifestyle over love. Ooh, not me, but you're
Mhm.
right. Not me though. Will says facts. Donald says I agree.
Hey, listen,
Voodoo Child says Kevin told grown men you need to wipe properly in 2023.
now
Mm.
that's what I'm talking about.
Mm.
There might be some young men that need to know that. Now, if he telling grown ass men that, y'all got some problems. Yeah. You don't even need to be talking about simping because you need to be learning something.
Voodoo Child says some women are non-traditional because the tradition sucked. That's true.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
That's true. What up, Ty? Ty with the pound and the 100. And Les says to say a man is supposed to mow the yard and take out the trash is the same as saying a woman is supposed to not go out, take girl trips, and should just be barefoot and be pregnant. In my opinion, that's what I mean by non-traditional women want a traditional man.
Respect. I got
Okay,
you. I
I got
kinda
you.
I dig what you're saying, but by the same token that I could probably take it like that, there's someone who probably took it like that and probably needed to hear what I had to say. because I'm not saying that I'm right, but I'm saying that we need to learn to listen to each other. Because if we value conversation, if we value each other, we want to know where people are coming from, and that's going to help us be better people. And that's what I
Yeah.
like about this. So I want to take this moment to thank all of you for engaging in this conversation, because while we're having this conversation, this is
Mhm.
really a different one from many that I've seen online. So I want to give you guys all of the props that you deserve. And all of you, in my opinion, great guys, good guys who have been in here. No simps in this timeline.
Right. All of these men in this chat are high value men to me. And
Absolutely.
and Ty says, preach. Les says, we're having whole conversations about how men don't have men in their lives, and in the same sentence, expecting them to know how to be men. Oh, my
Exactly.
drop
Thank you.
that part.
And that is why
Woo.
I'm coming
Yeah.
to say that I feel like how he was coming out in the beginning in his earnest way was coming out here to help men. I think that he meant that in the most sincere way. He was a man, a young man who was raised by a single mother, and he was an
Mhm.
only child. And there were things that he had to learn and things that he learned on his own. And he went through his own simp situation, and he's being very vocal and honest about that as well, right? And I
Yeah.
imagine in the dating life, many men probably go through that. They're like, "Hey, this is not working for me. Whoa, this is not," and they gotta
Yes.
change some things up. You
Yes.
did? But
Mhm.
I feel like it's important for everybody to go back and watch some of those first videos when you can see that this guy is on a pathway, and you watch the progression, it's
Mhm.
incredible. Like, he got it. He had to decorate he had to this whole little let me pull it up again. See this whole little, bachelor pad lifestyle that he got going on right here?
Mhm.
Look like I don't have no money right now?
Mhm.
That was not the case. That's not the
Mm.
case anymore, you know? So,
Yeah.
that means a whole lot.
And them graphics, the graphics over time, Lord have mercy. Because I actually clicked on something because I want to say that I think his daughter or someone is going to continue his page, or so his legacy will continue. And I was just looking at some of the creative graphics compared to what you just showed to what it became.
Mhm.
Is was awesome to see. It was
Yeah,
very awesome to see.
I think all content creators need to watch what he did. We can have that part of the conversation as well. I see,
What?
Genesis again.
And she says, tradition only sucks, I feel, if you wasn't raised on real tradition. Some don't know tradition. And I agree with that. Cynthia says, right. What's up, Cint? And
Mhm,
she
mhm.
said, and she was also saying that she loved that the comment that Les made when he was saying that we having whole conversations about how men don't have men in their lives, and in the same sentence expecting them to know how to be men. That was good.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
we love you back, Les. He says, we love y'all, Tanya and Tori. We love you back.
We gotta get
Nothing,
less
nothing but high value men is on this panel. All of
speak on
y'all.
it. Speak on it.
Voodoo says women understood tradition when pimps told them what to really see.
You
Here you
understand
go.
now? But let me say,
Oh God.
if you was in that game, you need to know how to play it. You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right.
You don't
Right.
take
Right.
Monopoly rules, and when you're playing checkers, and you don't take checkers rules into chess. You better know the
Yeah.
game that you're playing. Know your role.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
some of the things that women are upset about
Mm-hmm.
in terms of his delivery, like I said, I feel like you asked for that, sis, because you called into his show
Mm-hmm.
to ask him to give you a value.
Right.
So you had no value. Now I'm not talking about the fact that you make how many figures, that you live in your city girl life. See,
Mm-hmm.
that's not the value. That's about how much money you make.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not your value. You make money, but you have low value for yourself because you are calling a media influencer to rate you, right?
Right. Right.
So that already says it. You're not a high value person. You're just a person who makes a lot of money. And so in that same context, when he said you're going for this next person in this category, I mean, he could be right.
Right.
Could be
Now,
right.
now here's the other thing. And what's up, Kevin? Kevin Dozier's in the building. He said, "Hello, ladies." One thing I wanted to point out as well. Now, a couple of things I did agree with, um, which was rare. But when and this is with anyone, whether Kevin Samuels or anybody that says this, but how can you expect you tell yourself you're making 40 to 50,000 a year, but yet you can define high value as a dollar amount. You're making 40 to 50,000 a year, but you want someone making six figures.
Right.
Okay, how can you expect to want that, but you're not doing it for yourself? That was something that I couldn't understand. And to me, my definition, what I consider high value is totally different from what society is putting out there now. Like a lot of people look at a dollar amount, like you, Tony. I don't look at the dollar amount. I'm
Mhm.
looking at, are you loving? Are you kind? Are you caring?
Right.
Are you understanding? How do you treat people? Like, say you go to a restaurant, how do you treat the waiter, the waitress? How do
Right.
you treat people that that can't do anything for you? How do you treat people? I pay attention to simple things like that. I don't care about your money because, like, a lot of what
Whoa, whoa,
irritates.
whoa. Slow this cart down now. Slow. Wait now.
You see, I was about to go in, right?
Yeah, well, because you said a lot of things that I was agreeing with. I need to know what type of person you are. You need to be
Oh
kind. All of those
God.
things that you said were correct, but you can't be those things and broke. Mm-mm.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
you be as nice as you want to be, but you're gonna be broke over there by yourself. And here's why I say that. No,
Right.
I'm not this is not a joke. I'm
Yeah.
being very serious, and I think people need to
Yeah.
think about it in this context.
Mhm.
If you are that valuable
Mhm.
to a person and within a certain kindness, and you know who you are,
Mhm.
you're not gonna be broke.
Yeah.
You dig what I'm saying?
I dig it.
Because if you have values and you think of people and yourself that way, it is my
Mhm.
thought. Now, I know that there are circumstances where people go through things. I have gone through things, but I will say this. You decide and you make a decision to do something for yourself because you want something. So you can't be both of those things. You can't be kind and broke. I don't care. Hello, hi. I'm going to be kind too, but you're not getting ready to be my mate.
Mhm. Yeah.
You cannot be my mate. No, you cannot. Not when I'm taking care of myself. You heard the thing, I can do bad by myself. Your grandma ever
Uh,
told you that? I can be
yeah.
broke by myself. I don't need assistance with brokenness.
And
That is what
don't.
I don't need help with.
Voodoo Child says some women called in because they were looking to be led. And I agree with that.
Yeah,
Yeah. I
yeah.
agree with
Some
that.
were looking to be led. I can kinda understand that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
also, when it got to the point and maybe I haven't watched enough of those particular videos, so, maybe I shouldn't comment too much on that. But I dig what you're saying. They
Yeah.
were looking to be led because by that same token, when we're talking about he was talking to men and giving them some man advice, he was like, "The nerve of you knuckles." You know what I'm saying? The nerve of you. So he was getting them straight, and it was some men who needed to do that. And then when he started talking to the women, well, yeah, maybe they did need to hear that from a man. Maybe they needed to know that male, how men are thinking in that lane of where he was, and he's lived that lifestyle. He's like, "I could tell you what guys have done here." And I think that he was of an age that he could do that because he was in his 50s, correct? So he was married before, he's dated,
Mhm.
he went through the whole college lifestyle, he was in a fraternity. So I feel like, um he had enough to share this information, and you could take it or you could leave it. So for whoever's feelings was hurt, I mean, you could leave it. You did?
Mhm. And I
You really
did.
could.
That's why I turned it
'Cause
off.
right, because 'cause Imma tell you
My feelings
something,
wasn't hurt though. I just didn't. Yeah, I turned it
No, I'm
off.
talking about the women who do feel that hurt. I don't
Oh,
mean
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah,
individually,
yeah.
but,
I mean, some took it too far. Some took it too far. Hey
and
there.
it's not. How you doing, Jamesa? Good to have you in the building. But it's confusing. Like this whole thing of whatever is supposed to be high value. I think we need to decide what is high value to us. Be
Mhm.
clear on that. Be
Right.
clear what value you can take into a relationship. Because if you're
Mhm.
not gonna take value into it, then you probably don't need to be in one, you
Right.
know?
Right. And Voodoo
That's my
Child has a comment. He says, "Value fluctuates depending on what you need fulfilled in that particular time."
absolutely.
I agree totally.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
what I, uh looked for as a younger woman is certainly something extremely different as a middle-aged woman at this point in my life. A woman
Right.
who has adult children, you know, they're out of the nest. It's just not the same thing. A woman who is in a position who has all of the things that they really need already. So it's not like you're you're impressive as a young woman. You might be trying to build. Well, you're right. The
Right.
value actually depends.
Yeah. That's
Great point.
good.
Mhm. We
'Cause
gonna
we
put that
did
up.
yeah, value fluctuates depending on what you need fulfilled in that particular time. That's true because like you said, Tanya, stuff that I in my 20s, it don't even matter to me anymore. And I never was the type of person that I never was the type of person that looked that for money. I never was that type. I always wanted to know what type of person you are. Are you really who you say you are? I pay attention to your actions, not what you say.
Yeah.
And Kimberly says, I agree with Voodoo. My values have certainly matured.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
Because see, you're young, you're out here, you don't really know what you're looking for. You don't. Even
right.
yeah, I mean, we're talking about people who could come from two-parent homes, single-parent homes. It really comes down to deciding and understanding what your core values are. Because you could come from a totally jacked up two-parent home. You can come
Mhm,
from a two-parent home that I know two-parent homes that have kids just messed up in the head. Very
mhm,
masculine, over masculine, masculated type tendencies, and just ruin young people, and reverse, mothers as well, just so coddling and things of that nature. So, it's really gonna become a matter of you seeing what examples you have in your life in and
mhm,
around your home, in and around your circle, know what is valuable to you, and making a decision on what type of person first that you wanna be,
mhm.
because you need to know your value first before you're looking for the value of someone else, because it when only you know your value, you know where you kind of want someone to come in and help and raise this up some. But you gotta know yours first, you know?
Right. Jamacia, is it Jamacia? I don't
Jamaica,
wanna mispronounce your I don't wanna mispronounce your name, Jamaica. Money does not make you happy. Happiness comes from within. Money is a tool and a vehicle for the things you want. It's about values and morals.
there you go.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
that's what we've been saying. And Imma tell you something, don't know Kevin Samuels, but he definitely looks like he was just a nice guy. Not trying to be funny. I know what social media has perpetrated. I know
It's
what some
okay.
people are taking from the clips, you know? But
Yeah.
he looks like, a nice enough dude to me.
And we have to like, and I think you said this earlier in the conversation. When it comes to social media, it's all about image.
There you go.
And what it
That's where we want it.
like you said, marketing is a
Mhm.
tool. He realized the game. He figured it out, and he did what worked.
He played the social media game. So that's where we're gonna round off this conversation, right? As we go
Right.
into we've been talking almost an hour here, but how we can bring this thing right back home, and it's especially for content creators. Everybody who thinks they understand marketing, watch Kevin Samuels from the beginning. Watch him from his basic ass bachelor, ain't got that much money background in a suit. You can buy a suit, get it fitted. Okay?
Mhm.
That wasn't high value, but he had high value for himself. But watch the video from a creator's point of view. And then he realized when he was going to take some traction, started adding things in
Mhm.
because things going to look a certain way. Just like
Mhm.
right now, we're talking behind talk bubbles. So no one knows where I'm sitting, where you're sitting, what's in our background, any of that. But
Right.
these won't be the most popular things on the internet because people want to get that bird's eye view. They want to be in your life. They want to see stuff. Ask Voodoo. I did a live one time and the man told me my plants look healthy. So
Right.
so people are looking at your stuff.
And you
You
know what's
understand
so
me?
and I'm glad you said that because you know when people see your videos, they actually Jamaica says it's an illusion. When people see your videos, they make an assessment of who you are as a person because I actually came
Right,
across this guy's video yesterday and he said I did a video in my room and he said because I was in my room you guys assumed he was reading it down. He said you guys said that I was self-consumed because I had pictures of only myself in the room. They said that he was a narcissist because he kept saying my because he was talking about his wife, his kids, his grandkids. And
mhm,
this particular individual, this man has multiple wives. And he was just saying, you guys called me a narc. And he was like, y'all don't know anything about me. I invited y'all into my life.
right,
I invited y'all into my room and y'all making this assessment, calling me a narcissist and all that. I was like, oh my God.
right,
People
right,
do
right,
that.
right.
They see the visual and they start assuming things. And Voodoo Child says the talk bubbles help you focus on the conversation. Right. I love it,
Absolutely.
Voodoo. It's brilliant.
And that was my purpose for doing that, and we talked about it. I
Mhm.
said, "Tori, I've got this idea,
Yeah.
and, this is what I wanna do."
Yeah.
And, I said, "I don't know if it'll work. It doesn't have to work. I feel like whoever wants to listen is gonna listen. Who has a short attention span, they're gonna click off, and those aren't
Right.
the people that, I'm looking to talk to anyway. I think it's
Right.
important that we bring conversation back. We need to be talking about some real things, but, um, I just wanna go back to you guys watching the evolution of the way he
Mhm.
created content, because to
Right.
be honest, uh, he didn't very much get to live out his own high value life
Mhm.
because it only caught within the last year or so. And so by the time that in terms of high value in terms of monetarily speaking, by the time
Mhm.
he started getting some of the money for this and you could see the changes, he passed very, very closely to that. So he didn't even live the high value lifestyle that a lot of you are gravitating towards and trying to berate each other for, and that you all are not living because people of that monetary high lifestyle, they're not watching Kevin Samuels. Nobody with a high value lifestyle got time to be watching him on YouTube. So
Right.
it tells like all so like I don't even for the most part anytime that I hear a man, I like to hear where his view is there because that's telling me a lot too. I'm not gonna say too much more, but it tells a lot, you know? "Oh, so you got time for that." Mhm,
Right.
mhm.
And
Uh,
do you realize we're approaching I didn't realize it's been that long, but we're it next month will be a year that he passed away.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, it don't seem like it's been that long, but I was like, "What?"
It doesn't. It really doesn't, but, he brought a lot into the mix. He absolutely has, and there's a lot of conversation to be had. There's a lot of lessons to learn. I feel like, there's some valuable content that he has there. You take and do with it what you wanna do with it. You feel what you wanna feel from it, I guess, you know?
Right.
Um, if you felt like he was too hard, then guess what? He's not the person that you need to listen to. But
Right.
maybe you need to get some tougher skin.
What I'm gonna do, I'm sorry for interrupting, but what I'm gonna do after this conversation, I'm gonna go back. do a deeper dive like you did, go back to some of his earlier videos, because some of the earlier videos, like one of the ones that we were watching backstage and in the car, I never saw that before.
Mhm.
And looking at that particular video in particular, it's making me look at him from a different perspective. So I do need to look at some of the earlier videos. Voodoo Child says, so how strong was the info he put out if he's been gone a year and harder than ever? That's what I'm
Absolutely.
saying. That's what I'm saying.
That is exactly what I'm talking about. Like,
Yes.
I listen, I'll
Yes.
say this. I wish that man was still alive.
Yeah.
Serious, because I would love, because I can see, and you can see it in this video, and just if you just know anything about this, and if you look at the time, and he did not live the
Mhm.
value of what that content is making today.
Right.
He didn't.
Right.
He didn't. He was striving towards that. It was a marketing plan. He had a great marketing plan. He started out honest, sincere. Well, he was honest, sincere the whole way. Don't let me misspeak here. But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is he humbly started out to bring a
Mhm.
value to men, right?
Mhm.
Humbly.
Mhm.
Got into the woman conversation and it caught traction. And when you get those hits, you get money. Listen, I'm a very upset sister that the monetization of reels is not around anymore because I got money off of reels. Yes. So and no matter what it is, small amounts or whatever the case may be, when you start getting, I don't care if it's $2
Yeah.
off of it, it makes a difference. And he was getting big hits. So he's gotta stay with where his audience was, because
Mhm.
now this is a revenue stream. This is a business plan. So is he not supposed to go forth in doing business the way a smart businessman should do? Yes, he was
Right.
supposed to. He had a market there, and he had to give them what they came to him for. I only wish that he could have reaped more of the benefits from it, but if he has, family or kids who are able to do that, then I think that's a great thing as well.
They're that's the thing. They're going to continue. I've watched a more recent video, I think, that posted within the past week or so, and his family is actually going to continue his legacy. And they're actually posted the other day that they're going to be posting some there's some content coming up in the future. So they're actually going to there are probably some videos that he created that he
Mhm.
didn't get a chance to publish. So yeah, they're going to continue his legacy on his channel. I just
I'm
noticed
happy to
that.
hear
Like,
that.
wow. So
I'm
that's
happy to
good
hear
to
that
hear.
because if nothing else, he engaged conversation, uh, and there's something that you can learn from it. So
Mhm.
even if you look at the content that you felt like, well, he was berating someone, what is it that you can
Mhm.
learn from it? And if you can't take it, then you click, go somewhere else. I see Voodoo
Right.
here. He says, a lot of imitators have come on the scene, but they lack true intelligence and real information. Yes. And
Mhm.
particularly the younger men. Younger
Right.
men who are not getting the play that they want. I've heard a lot of younger men who just don't have they haven't put the time in. They haven't dated enough to be able to be, number 1, just freaking hurt, or
Mhm.
to try to give out dating information. You can't imitate this. This man was middle-aged, okay? He was.
Mhm. And Voodoo Child says Kevin Samuel equals the game is to be sold, not told.
Hey,
Bars.
hey, and I don't think we have to say nothing else. I think that just shut the whole conversation down. I love talking to you guys. It was a great, great topic. I know we got some more
Mhm.
stuff that we could talk about. There's one other topic that came out of, that other conversation that we didn't get to today, but let's bring back around. They wanted us to talk about, submission.
Mm.
We haven't gone there yet. We gotta take this one step at a time. We did the homework on the Kevin Samuels for you guys.
Mm.
We'll
That
get there. Y'all,
submission is going that submission topic is gonna be something.
I don't even know if I wanna have it. I don't know if I can submit to that.
Hey,
Submit to
hey,
commit.
hey, let's do it. Let's do it. I don't know when, but we definitely need to cover that. We definitely need to have that conversation about submission.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, guys, thank you for coming in. We're gonna wrap this thing up. Tori, how you feeling?
I'm feeling wonderful. And Jamesa says, oh my. Jamesa also says, let me know when that happens. Jamesa, we got to do it. We got to do it. Matter of fact, I think you were in the building when we were talking about the submission as well. So you definitely got to be in the building. We got
Yeah.
to cover that. But thank you guys for tuning in. This has been an awesome and amazing show as always. I look forward to Tuesdays. And of course, I tune in with Tonya every single day during the week, Monday through Friday, noonday my time. So make sure you check her out tomorrow, because I think tomorrow, love you too, Jamesa. And I think tomorrow's what, Wellness Wednesday?
Wellness Wednesday.
So I'm looking forward to it. And speaking of Wellness Wednesday, how about let's briefly tell about our experience on yesterday.
Mm.
Yesterday, we went to Practical Purpose Solutions, and we did some yoga. And matter of fact, the young lady that did yoga was on Tanya's podcast last week.
Yeah.
And
A
I tell
little
you, it was
meditation.
and it was very
Meditation and journaling. Jarrell from the Whole Space and Garden. Really good time, as
yeah,
well as we had Genesis in from culture, with
yes.
meal prepping and healthy lifestyle in terms of learning how to eat better. So both of them were there, and it was a
Mhm.
great day. We got an opportunity to figure out how we could find better snacks.
Mm.
I think that was your first time kind of having an experience with sushi. Had you eaten a little seaweed yesterday?
What? Listen, 'cause she done turned me on to something. I'm like, what? Because when she was cutting it, what was the green stuff? You said
The
what?
seaweed.
Listen, when she was cutting, I said, what is that? But listen,
Well, you know what?
listen,
We'll talk about it. We will talk about it. Maybe we might chat about it some tomorrow. How about that?
that sounds good. No, no, no,
Because
I won't be here tomorrow.
no, I mean Wellness Wednesday. And you can
Okay.
come anytime you wanna come. We'll talk about that. We get ready to close this show because people gotta go back to work. Their lunch break, they're going back to you gonna get people fired out here.
Oh, okay. All right, y'all. Peace out. Thank you guys for joining us. Peace out. Love you guys back.
All right, guys. I tell you, what a great conversation. If nothing else, Kevin Samuels brought a lot to the table. Conversation is one of the greater gifts that I would definitely like to take from him. And I want you guys to talk more and realize for yourself what your value is. That's very, very important. And that's what this show is about as well, conversation, because conversations matter. And we're going to talk about those things. They can be lightweight. Sometimes they can be some of the harder conversations that we may need to have. And he had hard conversations in a way that was hard. But did it kill you? No, it hurt your feelings. Well, you know what? Get your feelings together and think about it. Think about what you need to do differently. Think about the way that you need to move forward. All right? That's what I think. But it's time for us to do what we need to do. Yep. We breathe in when we come into this whole thing. But when you go back on the space, I want you to feel relaxed as well. I want you to be able to breathe that thing out, right? So go ahead. Let's get in it. Let's do some breath work. Inhale to the count of 4. Hold that a few seconds. Exhale. Hold that a few seconds. Inhale again. Hold a few seconds. Exhale. And hold that a few seconds. Inhale one more time. Hold a few seconds. And exhale. Yeah. Well, don't you feel great? I feel great. I appreciate you guys. And if nobody gave you a smile today, if nobody smiled today, you just close your eyes and give yourself a big smile and see how that feels for you. Right? Y'all be great out here. That's what we do. One love, y'all. Value. Know your value.